Representative from Texas, Louis Gohmert, who's also a member of the House Tea Party caucus. Thank you so much for joining us, Representative Gohmert.
Sure.
I'm watching the Dow futures 290 points lower right now, 300. The market is falling apart as we speak, Congressman. What should the president be doing right now, sir?
Well, actually, you were right before. There were no cuts. There were slows in growth, but there were no real cuts. This president doesn't want to cut. He's got us over $1 trillion more in spending than we were 4 years ago when the Democrats took over the Congress. And as far as QE, another QE, until we get rid of Huey and Dewey in the Treasury and the Federal Reserve, we don't need another QE. That needs to go away. These guys, they've got to make cuts. And he's making fun of us. If it weren't for the Tea Parties pushing the need to cut spending down to the amount of money we're bringing in, 2.2 trillion is not so bad, then we would be a lot worse off rating-wise. We're lucky they didn't downgrade us further than that. This guy needs to be spreading calm and not panic. We're going to do the right thing. We're going to get and live within our means. And instead, he's out there still playing politics. Did you ever think that you would wish Hillary Clinton had won the 2008 primary? I know I didn't, but I do now.
All right, sir, let's talk a little bit about that. Over the weekend, David Axelrod, a couple of the other prominent Democrats came out and pointed a finger at your caucus, the Tea Party caucus, saying that this downgrade was your fault. How do you respond to that?
Well, obviously, they've got nowhere else to turn because the problem is overspending, and they've got nothing to show for it. But the Tea Parties are rank and file people. You look at the polls, and it shows that most Americans who pay income tax are favorably inclined toward the Tea Party. That's because they're the people that are getting hurt. And those are the people that are saying, just don't spend more than you have coming in. And I tell you, Axelrod, he can spin it any way he wants. But the truth is the Tea Parties are the real, true Americans that pay taxes. And I've run into lots of Democrats in those, people from all different races, and they just want responsible government. That's all. They hadn't been involved before like David Axelrod. They hadn't run campaigns into the ground, into the dirt like he has before, or run them into sky high and then had the meteor drop. So they don't know his experiences. They don't know how to spin things. They just know what's right, and right is not spending more than you bring in.
Hey, Congressman, about half a minute or so, just tell us, you're on recess, Senate's on recess as well. A lot of American people are going, boy, we need some help, we need some answers out of D.C. Would you be willing to hightail it back to D.C. and maybe fix a few things that might be broken?
I'd go back tonight, but this president only wants people to come back and spend more money, and that's the problem with raising taxes before you cut the spending. You create more of this incentive. You know, as a judge, I dealt with people who were hooked on different substances. These people are hooked on other people's money, and we have got to have an intervention. And I'd fly back tonight if we could have the intervention and stop the insane spending of future generations' money. It's high time we had an intervention. I don't mind doing it, but this guy just wants to spend it, Eric. It's got to stop.
Hey, Representative Gohmert, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Love talking to you anytime, Eric.
All right, sir. Let's bring in Carolyn Held.